Up until now, we've only looked at macros that consist of one or two lines of VBA code. Due to their size, they typically run instantaneously. As we get into exploring more complicated macros that contain loops and potentially hundreds or even thousands of lines of code, the overall runtime of macros starts to increase pretty quickly. There are a few easy ways that we can help Excel execute our VBA code more efficiently, which will result in faster runtimes for our macros. In this example, we're going to copy and paste 250 different product codes listed in column A into the copied products sheet. We'll use a for loop to run through each cell to perform this function. I've also set up a timer to determine how long it takes for this macro to run. Let's start the macro, and when it finishes running, we'll get a message box telling us how long it took to process the data. You can see the screen flashing rapidly as we run the macro. This happens because we're telling the macro to activate each sheet every time we copy and paste values. We see the runtime to be just about 12 seconds. We can now speed this macro up substantially by utilizing the 3 lines of code at the top and bottom of this subprocedure. By setting screen updating to false, we're essentially telling Excel not to show any intermediate steps on the screen. This will stop the flicker effect and will reduce the resources that Excel uses. Secondly, we can turn the calculations to manual. This stops Excel from recalculating every cell on the worksheet when a change is made. Lastly, we can set display alerts to false, which doesn't make as big of an impact as the previous two, but it still frees up some memory for Excel to execute the macro quicker. When we remove the apostrophe from these lines of code and run the macro again, we no longer see any flickering occurring. Now, after optimizing how we run the macro, we see the runtime to be just under 4 seconds.